So I'm going to talk about what the delayed entry program is and what you do. Hi everyone, it's Stacy.
And Adam.
And Mr. Two.
Mr. Two.
Today we're going to talk about the DEP program. And the DEP stands for
Delayed Entry Program.
So on April 20th, I went in for an inspection at MEPS and I swore in. And the very next day I had a 24-hour DEP briefing with my recruiter. And he gave me a pamphlet. It talks about the Airman's Song, the Airman's Creed, the different officer and enlisted rankings, the reporting statement, and he said that I should probably know all of this before I get into BMT. He also gave me a bunch of
Air Force swag.
Ta-da! I got a shirt, which you should wear to every DEP meeting. Also a water bottle, keychain, backpack, all that stuff. And so, the DEP program. You meet on the first and third Friday of every month. The first Friday is you take a practice PT with all the other trainees. And you do your sit-ups, your push-ups, your 1.5 mile run. And that kind of gives you an idea of what you need to improve on or just where you are as far as going into BMT. Then the third Friday of every month you do some sort of event with all the trainees in that recruiting office. So we did a pizza party. There was a pizza party for the flight chief that was retiring. And then we also did a DEP meeting on the 4th of July. So yes, they will have you meet up on a holiday. So on the 4th of July there was a stage and a band was performing and we just set up the flags that right next to the stage.
And then there was the takedown. We didn't participate in that.
Yeah. And then you'll also have a joint DEP call, which means that you'll meet up with the other recruiting offices in the area. And that'll happen once every 3 months. So the joint DEP, one of them was we went to a veterans home shelter and we just helped out with the landscaping in the front and backyard. We also looked at the canned foods. If they were expired, we tossed them. And also we made a clothing donation. And then the last joint DEP was actually today. We went to a church and helped set up tables, prepare the food for homeless people that came and ate there. And then they also asked for donation of school supplies, so we did that. And if you can't make the DEP calls, or if you can't stay for the whole entire thing, just let your recruiter know. And my recruiter was pretty cool about it. He said, okay, just come the following week, which I did, and I took a short lunch, met him at the end of his work day, and he just took my weight and asked me if I had any questions. The DEP calls, well, sometimes they're long, like the 4th of July and today, they asked us to stay maybe 5-6 hours. And then the PT one and the pizza party was only about, what, an hour and a half?
Yeah. So
those weren't too long. And then the last thing to talk about is the EAD meetings. And that stands for?
Enter Active Duty.
So you'll have a 30-day meeting, 15-7, they call it the last day, and ship day. So 5 separate meetings. Well, you'll have to go into the recruiting office and he'll give you a form. He or she will give you a form that you fill out. It'll just ask if you have any new injuries, if you have any new tattoos, if you've gotten in trouble with the law enforcement, like traffic tickets, DUIs, anything like that, and they'll also take your weight again. There was a 7-day EAD where the flight chief actually called me and we went over the same set of questions. He asked me if I had any questions for him, and also how I was getting along with my recruiter, if he was doing a good job, or if I had any comments or complaints. And then the last EAD meeting, my recruiter checked my BMT bag to just make sure that I had all the correct supplies and personal necessities. And you're usually in the DEP program from what I've seen, maybe 3 to 4 months.
Yeah.
Okay. Bye. Hi everyone, it's Stacy.
And Adam.
And Mr. Tooth. But basically everyone just goes through the motions and you kind of want to see where you're at before you get into BMT. So the third Friday of every month, you get together and do some sort of event. So we did a pizza party, Veterans Homeless Shelter, a joint DEP. So you'll get together with all of the recruiting offices in the area. So for us, it's the South Orange County area. And you'll do some type of event, like I already said. So it was a 4th of July. So they will ask you to come volunteer on a holiday. And then we did our last one today actually. It was at a church, and we set up tables and foods for the homeless. These DEP meetings usually don't last for too long. The PT one was about an hour and a half. The other ones though, like today and then the 4th of July, they ask you to stay for maybe 5 or 6 hours. If you can't, it's not a big deal. To my recruiter, we just let him know, hey, we can only stay for an hour or 2. And he was totally fine with that. Also, I was working full-time, so making the DEP calls on Fridays was very difficult for me. So I just let him know if I can make it up the next week, and he was totally cool with that. I took a short lunch. I met him at the end of his workday. He just took my weight. And that's another thing. At all the DEP calls, they'll take your weight, make sure that you're staying within the standards. And then the last thing is the EAD meetings. So the EAD means
Interactive duty.
interactive duty. So I had to sign a piece of paper saying that I will attend a 30-day, 15-day, 7-day, final day, and shift day EAD. And basically what you do is you just go in to the recruiting office. He gives you a checklist saying, I haven't gotten any new tattoos, I haven't been in trouble with the law enforcement, no traffic violations, drunk driving, I don't have any new injuries, and he'll take your weight and you'll be on your way. There was a phone call that I got from the flight chief, and that was a 7-day EAD, and he just went through the same list, asked me if I have any new injuries, if I had any questions for him, if I had a good relationship with my recruiter, was he doing a good job, and then the last day EAD, my recruiter checked my bag for BMT. And I think that's about it.